It's nectarine blueberry today. I've been up since 6, 5:30, between 5:30 and 6. Man, one little girl's finished with her bottle, give me a grin. The other one keeps rolling over on the dolls and hurting himself because they're my girls' Barbies. What are you going to do, right? What are you going to do? Obviously, I'm talking baseball for a minute. I'll answer questions maybe later on. Non baseball, of course. No one cares about baseball. Sucks being a Mets fan. 10-game lead, midway through the season, gone. 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 May make it into the wild card, but they're done. They're done. Just pisses me off. Why we have a great team and we still can't get it done. I don't understand it. I don't even watch. I'm gonna boot you. It's a terrible comment to make, Jamie. Proud of your O's, huh? Oh yeah, yeah. The Orioles. You know, Baltimore has always been, and New York too. It's just I don't watch football anymore. I don't have another sport to. Usually, if the Mets are blowing it, I can go to football. But I got out of football a couple of years ago. I don't even keep up with hockey that much anymore. Used to be. I mean, I still am a Red Wings fan, but don't keep up with them. And basketball, it's been years, oh, over a decade probably since I've been a basketball fan. I bet since 2005. That was the last time I filled out the tournament thing. So I got no other sport to switch over to. So I mean, I'll always watch the World Series regardless of who's in it, but it pisses me off when the Mets have a chance and they just can't do it. Sucks. So topics of conversation. Topics. Oh, rats. Hold on. He probably will not show, but I need to send him an email because he was the one that I've been talking to about this. I don't know what he's doing today. Everyone knows him because Dylan from the Twin Sons Foundation is a big baseball fan, and but we need everyone we can get. See, I don't mind that, but that's just me, maybe. But anyway, we'll see if Dylan wants to get on for this because Dylan was talking to me about it. We've been texting back and forth. We texted a little bit. What was it last night, and then again earlier today when I talk about baseball. You will be able to watch your Dodgers in the World Series this season if you dream about it. That's so mean. That's so mean. No, it's not true. Dodgers are a good team. Oh, wait. What's this? What's this? Really? Really? The Phillies. That's interesting. No, it won't happen. Bryce Harper may not go to a World Series. You can't do it. I'm gonna see if Dylan wants to join because they added some rules for next season, and Dylan was the one that told me about it. I didn't hear about it. I heard about it late. Dylan told me last night or yesterday. He told me yesterday, and then today I was talking about it and thinking about it. I was like, man, I just want to talk about this. That's good. Now, I still remember that too. That's the last time they were any good. I remember, yeah, and you know what happened in '94, Marcel. In '94, baseball went on strike because an American game was won by back-to-back Canadians. You stole our sport, and we were so mad. That's the real reason we went on strike. Forget what anyone says about what we went. It's because we were mad that Canada was owning American baseball in back-to-back years with excellent teams. That is just ugly. I don't know why you'd say that. Well, sometimes that just doesn't matter. I can't even say that. It's like I remember Family Guy made a joke. They sat down for Stewie sat down for the opener of the Mets game in the stadium. He went, and it's like, and welcome to the Mets' first game of the season. Then you hear like a crack of a bat, and he throws down the, hat and walks away because the season's over after the first pitch is thrown. So yeah, it's kind of how I feel. Supposedly, someone played that clip when the Mets lost their first game of the season and got fired from Citi Field. I heard that happen about 2 years later after the cartoon came out. This is awful. I didn't know there were so many awful people who watch my streams. Red Sox. Well, I mean, it's better than being a Yankees fan. So never mind. Let me just say that. I'm going to talk about that. Favorite players right now? Well, of course I love Scherzer. I'm going to pick a Met. Ateo is awesome. He's incredible. I feel bad he's been injury prone this season. Trout, I love Trout still. There's a few here and there to pick from. I just wish there were more on the Mets to choose from. Who aggravates me the most? I don't know on the Mets. I don't know that one. DeGrom, yeah. I mean, but it's just so frustrating. It's so frustrating that we have a good team. We should be winning, and it's just all falls apart. Well, they also made a joke that the reason 94 they were going to cancel the season was because the Expos, the other Canadian team, were probably the best they'd ever been. And if you go back and look at that 94 Expo team, it's chock full of Hall of Famers. I mean, I didn't even realize that. But it looks like an all-star team. And I didn't even, back in 94, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize how good they were. But someone made an argument that the Expos would have won the World Series that year. I was thinking, what? No. And then they showed me who all they had. It's like, oh my gosh, I forgot they had all those people at the same time. Ohtani, man. Ohtani. He's incredible, man. He's incredible. He's an incredible player. Definitely the most outstanding. I mean, he's like the modern day Babe Ruth. Really, he can pitch and throw. If you knew Babe Ruth was a pitcher, but I mean, he can do it all. He can do it all. He truly can. He's incredible. Isn't his contract up next year? Maybe we'll get him. We won't get him. I don't mind cheering for the underdogs. The clubs who don't always have excellent teams every season, that's usually who I tend to cheer for in the postseason when the Mets are out or when they're not even in it, which is most of the time. Because I'll cheer for the underdog, Yeah, they move. And are they really? Let me ask you this question. Are they really? Do you consider that the Expos? Because if I was an Expo fan, I'd either find another team or quit baseball. If the Mets changed their name and moved to like Oklahoma and became the Oklahoma Ranchers or whatnot, or something cool, I can't think of something cool right now, but if they became the, whatever team, they changed their Mets team, I probably would not cheer for them anymore. And there weren't hardly any, not to be mean to Montreal, but there weren't that many fans anyway. All right, so yeah, they got a good group. So here we go. Well, the Dodgers kept their name. They moved to but people stopped loving them because they moved cities. A lot of Brooklyn people stopped being Dodger fans, and they accepted the Mets into their lives. But if the Mets were to move, then I'd probably still be a Mets fan. Oklahoma Mets doesn't have the nice ring to it, but I'd probably still be a Mets fan. But if they change the name of the club to like the Guardians, which is the dumbest name in the world, when I hear Guardians, I think it's like a fake baseball. I think of them as a fake baseball team. If I was in Cleveland, I mean, why would you be an Indians fan to begin with? But if you switch to the Guardians, it'd be terrible. It'd be terrible. Almost as terrible as being a soccer fan. Oh. You did that on purpose, didn't you? And she's a baseball. Didn't. Hey, y'all, check out if you want to hear it. Hold on. Let me get little man. Come here, dude. Ugh. Come here. Say hello. Wow. I'm a little half-naked guy reaching for Daddy Bang. Ooh, no, little man. You have enough energy already. She came up with a video about the wizards and a little bit while Rings of Power is not in line with the books at all. And it's unknown. It's really unknown that people don't realize that there's not much on the wizards. They're just mentioned. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, Teresa. They're mentioned at the end of the Silmarillion, right? I mean, just like mentioned, like there were 5 wizards that came across. It was Saruman, Radagast, and Gandalf. And then it says 2 blue wizards who had a separate mission. And they went away. We don't know who they were. We don't know what was going to happen to them. But 2 random blue wizards. And what I was telling her on her video on the comment was that one of the blue wizards, C.S. Lewis, tried to pretend one of those blue wizards were in his space trilogy, Merlin. And Tolkien said, no, that was not one of the blue wizards. But in the 3rd book, The Hideous Strength, I think, it's been a while since I've read it, but Merlin recounts how he came to this world and he and another blue wizard left a group of 3 other wizards or whatnot. And I was thinking, wait a minute, because I'd read the Silmarillion and I made the connection. But Tolkien was like, no, that's not it. Anyway, have to cheer for another team because, oh goodness, yes. Yes, horrible name. Okay, so I don't think Dylan's coming. My little man is excited. Give me the little man excited face. Whoa. Profile. He's happy. Oh, we're talking Mets. It's Matt and little man talking Mets with little girl right over there wishing she was in daddy's lap right now. Spitting up. Okay. Hey, can you wave? Watch, he'll wave. Can you wave? Wave your hand. Wave your hand. He'll wave his hand. Can you wave your hand? Yeah, we wave. There it is. See? He'll wave at people now. He'll wave. There it is. Yeah. Okay, Bubba. Let's do this. First off, Dylan sucks. He's not here, so Dylan sucks. Woo, 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 woo. Oh, baby dancing. This has nothing to do with baseball, I guess. It's a baby dancing. Boom. Oh, that is a soggy diaper. That is so soggy. Hold on. Little man. That's about to drop from the bottom there. Hold on. Let me get you, and then we'll go into baseball. Hey, don't. Hey, look at Daddy. Daddy's right here. Don't cry. I'm right here. Hold on. Did you just do that, little man? Maybe when he saw we were talking about the Mets, he pissed himself because he knows how bad they are. Here, flip over. This is where the magic happens, folks. Okay, so the first one I want to talk about, pitch timer. They're going to time the pitches because that'll speed up baseball by what, 26 minutes? My question, goodness gracious, that thing was sopping wet. Like you went down a slip and slide on it. Anyway, man, the problem isn't the timing of the game. It's not the timing of the game. There are other things that they can work on more than pitch count. I know they did this in AAA. That's where they tested it out. It seemed to work fine. Like I said, 26 minutes. Is that going to make people tune in? Because now instead of, 3 hours, it's going to be 2.5? I don't think so. I don't think that makes a difference. Viewership will not go up over this. Sure, it's going to speed up the game. But if you like the team, the game goes at a great pace as is. I don't think fans, and I could be wrong, I don't think fans are screaming for shorter games. We just need more fans. But, we need more fans so we can, and all this is to have more fans, But the thing is, though, a pitch timer, what happens if they don't get it? I don't know what happens. I should look that up. I don't know what's the penalty. They call a ball? Did they automatically walk the pitcher? I don't know. What's the penalty for not hitting the pitch timer on time? Baseball is a lot more fun in person. You are exactly right. Oh, we're here to talk about cricket. Maybe I should take up cricket. Maybe I should. Yeah. What would you say? Okay, I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that. But anyway, this one, yeah, it's going to shorten the game. But do we need it? I don't care. I don't care if the game's long. I don't care about that. Here's the other one I don't care about. I don't care about bigger bases. I know 3 inches. 3 inches is going to make a difference on whether a player gets their foot stomped on the bag, or it'll protect the second baseman from someone sliding in. No, they're aiming for the second baseman. Now, it's more than just bigger bases, right? If you saw, it's got an X design. It's got where water will, not sit on it. Water will stream off it. It's got some grip on it. I think it's a little bit lower. It's more friendly for people sliding in. That's all fine. I don't mind it. If they think this is going to protect the second baseman, which is what they're saying, I think they're fooling themselves. People slide intentionally toward the second baseman. A bigger base is not going to make any difference. Not going to make a lick of difference when it comes to that. I don't mind this. I don't hate it. I'm just saying, whatever. It's not going to do what they want it to do. Uh-oh, little girl is upset because she is not in the baseball talk. Let's see. Yeah, but that did it bother you? That's the thing. Did it bother you? So baseball it is. All right. So anyway, last one, eliminating the shift. I know they're not really, but the thing is, though, they're making 2 people stay on each side of the bag, and the shift is part of the game. And to see how a batter can beat the shift is interesting. I'm not for this. It's like, oh, we see something that doesn't happen all the time. It does happen when you're trying to get a player out, but that's part of the game. But telling people they have to stay in their little certain area, I don't know. I'm not for this. This is one that I think is just dumb. They don't like how, and that's what they said, I think, in their statement. They don't like how the game is being played today. Well, screw you. You know what they should do? Are you ready? Here's what they should do. Wait, hold on. Did I not make my notes for this? I didn't. Oh, man. Yeah. I should get that right now. Steroid. Yeah. You think Stig would stick me in the buttocks? I'd do him in return. We're talking with steroid shots here. You know Stig takes them. He has to, right? I won't tell you what he does with the cork. Favorite players of all time, Keith Hernandez, Mike Piazza. They were great. Nolan Ryan was good too. There's a lot of past players who were great. I don't think you should bring back steroids. Yep, and we lost a 10-game lead in the Eastern Division to the Mets, and now we're half a game behind and dropping. I don't know what that was for. Oh, for me and Stig? No, I'm just saying. Okay, here's the story. So the Bash brothers, Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire used to stick each other with steroids into buttocks in the bathroom stalls before a game. Steroid. You wanted a steroid reference. So I thought, well, who would stick me in the stall before a game? Probably Stig. Dylan wouldn't do it. Hey, what'd you say? Whoa, kicking guy. Hey, Ella, I'll come get you. We're going to switch out with the girl. Oh, geez, that's a rough question. No for Barry Bonds. No for Pete Rose. I understand. I mean, they're hardcore on no betting on baseball. Did that make a difference? Probably, maybe, yes, on certain games, not every game. Charlie Hustle always wanted to win, but did he bet against his Reds? You know he did, which that adds to the question. All right, hold on. Hey, Pumpkin, hold on. Let me see if I can bring her around. Dang, I was hoping this would be a short one, but it's just the kids were so good just a few minutes ago. Hold on, let me see if I can bring her. Oh, what is this? What did you do? Come here. I just gave you a bottle, goofball. You're supposed to be quiet for the daddy. All right, sorry. Here we go. All right, so what should they do? What should they do? Well, eliminate the blackout areas. Don't black out the home team. Let that person see their home team. Because when you're playing baseball on TV, a kid's going to be watching too, and he's going to say, hey, so where are they? Oh, they're in our area or someplace close I can travel to. Let's go see a game. Blackout areas, blackout restrictions are totally dated. They're totally dated, and they destroy fans. They destroy cultivating new fans into the sport. Get rid of your blackout days. There you go. There's one. Second one, stop doing interleague play. The World Series seems watered down when you can always, the whole thing about the World Series was the American League played a National League team. Oh my gosh, it's so special. It's not anymore. So do it to where they're only, oh, wait, here. There you go.
Going to be one of these then.
Yes. We're 6 people or less, watch. But I was just saying, I talked about these, and I was saying, get rid of blackout restrictions. If they want to improve the game, do you think that'd be a good thing?
The blackout?
Yeah, the blackout restriction. It's stupid.
Yeah, I've had this opinion. The blackouts are like the dumbest thing ever. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Oh, the team sucks. No one wants to watch them. So we'll make the people who don't want to watch them not able to watch them.
Yeah, the people who would. And then the thing is, though, as you're watching them, even if they're good or bad or whatnot, you're there with your kids. Your kids are getting to watch those games. They're going to want to go to the stadium once or twice. You're growing new fans. But no, just black out the game. That way, if they even do love baseball, they'll have to watch another team and fall in love with them. Or just not watch baseball at all since it's not on TV.
Exactly. And it's because even there's some teams that are kind of on these islands, for example, baseball included, where you think of like the Mariners. If you're in Montana or Idaho, you're probably a Mariners fan because they're the closest team to you, right?
Right.
And then you're going to get your games blacked out because, oh, you couldn't drive like 2 states away to Seattle to see a game?
Exactly. So that's dumb. The other one, and here's the thing, and I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying here. I saw that. All right, so I said interleague play. Now hold on, I didn't finish that thought because Dylan jumped in. I said eliminate it, but I'd be okay with it coming back once every 4 years with a handful of teams. I don't think the American League should always play the National League. I just don't. I think it cheapens the World Series.
I think it only makes sense in the the 3 rare cases where you have AL and NL teams in the same city, right? I think outside of New York, Chicago, and I guess technically LA, even though the Angels play in Anaheim, that at least makes some sort of sense. Yeah, have them play like 2 games against each other, one at home, one on the road. Okay, no big deal. But for everything else,
how special was the Subway Series in the year 2000? That was super special.
No one outside of New York watched it, I believe.
Anyway, but it was special, and a lot of people watched the Mets lose 4 in a row. I don't want to talk about that any more than you do, but I'm just saying that was special. You can do it maybe once every 4 years, but not every year. It's cheapening the World Series. All right. I forgot my third point. I had 3 different rules that baseball should change to grow fans of the sport. And so none of the 3, thank you, Arthur. None of the 3 that they gave us, if you want to just get my upload, I don't care about the pitch timer. Is 26 minutes, which is what they said the average game took in AAA when they tested out. Is 26 minutes going to make a difference to me? No. Did I think the game was going slow? No. They obviously think they got a slow game, and games have gone longer over time. But pitch counter, I don't care about. The bigger baseball bag. Guess what? That's not going to stop the second baseman from not being hurt. They're still going to slide into him. You know that, and I know that. I do like the design of it. I read about it's like a little bit lower. It's got that grip to it now. It's more slider friendly. It's got a X design on it to get the water to run off of it so no one's slipping on the bag. So I love all those improvements to it. But a bigger bag, I mean, if you're thinking they're not going to step on you or not going to get hurt.
See, okay. The only reason I like the bigger bag is because I like action on the bases. And I think maybe if they have that extra 1.5 inches on either side, well, technically 3 inches because it's 1.5 inches either way, maybe we'll finally see more stolen bases and people actually attempting. Maybe we'll see more hit and runs, because that's the one thing about modern baseball that I hate is that teams have gotten away from that kind of thing.
Oh, look, speaking of 1.5 inches, Noah's here. I'm kidding, Noah. Fist up, sir.
Is never.
Hey, Noah, I have a question. So the Queen has passed, but Josh hasn't been seen for months. Do you think he had this in the? Do you think he had some grand scheme going down? He had to lay low before he pulled the biggest assassination the world will never know. I thought of him immediately. Yes, I think he's amazing. He should be a Met.
Do you think he's the MVP over Aaron Judge this year?
Yes. Yes, I think he is. The stuff he's doing, Dylan, I've talked to you about it. It's incredible.
Yep.
It's incredible. It's if you just don't see, and that's no diss to Aaron Judge. He's any other year.
Yeah,
he'd be your man. But goodness gracious, can he pitch a no-hitter and then hit a grand slam in the same game? No, he can't. Let's see. Ken Griffey Jr. Graceful. Okay, so Mariners fan, obviously. I love Junior. I love Ichiro.
Hey, two Star Wars nerds.
Did you see the Ichiro girl come back and throw the ball out for the first pitch? And then Ichiro was there to catch it. They surprised her again.
Two Star Wars nerds. You probably have, but just in case, you should check out Secret Base, John Boyce and Alex Rubenstein's Dorktown series on the Mariners. It's 6 hours. It's 6 episodes in 3.5 hours. Great stuff if you haven't already.
Okay, there you go. Two Star Wars nerds. Hey, also, I have a friend of mine who lives here. He's a Detroit Tigers fan. And when I asked him how, because he grew up here in Louisiana, I said, "How are you a Tigers fan?" He loved Magnum PI as a kid. That's fantastic. Magnum PI always wore a Tigers hat. And so he thought, well, if Magnum PI is a Tiger fan, then so am I. And I was like, holy cow, that's the best. I almost became a Tigers fan over that. There you go. That's as you should. As you should. That's the third reason. That's the third reason.
The thing is, they can't, though. They went to court over this, and then they said, yeah, he's a bad umpire, but we can't because of the union, so we got to keep him around.
Which is why I'm okay with a robots calling pitches.
Mm-hmm.
Not calling the bases. You can keep the bases to the umpires so they don't lose their job, but the pitches should be counted by, a robot, a system, automated system that just dings and everything. That way you have, and I mean, there are some good umpires who can call it, but umpires these days are they're more inconsistent than they ever have been. Is that, do you think that's the right thing to say? Is
yes.
that fair?
Especially because, I don't know. You've all, if you know baseball, you've all been there when you're just like, that's how is that a strike, right? And even like, because some pitchers and some catchers just have this ability to like cheat the umpires in the games with pitch framings. I remember Maddox, for example, he was really good about I forget what it was. He had like a personal catcher. I forget what his catcher was, but he would set out just out the outside of the plate. And then every inning he would get even farther and farther outside by just a little bit. So at the end of the game, by the time like, his arm was gassed. He was basically throwing stuff to them outside the plate, and they couldn't hit him anyway. Maddox,
Right.
great pitcher regardless, but like the fact that that was the thing that was happening, and the fact that like everyone pretty much knew about it, but it just continued to go. Like, there's got to be some consistency.
I agree. I agree
And
completely on that.
I agree, Scott. Inconsistent umpires is a
Hold
part
on.
of the game, but the balls and strikes, we can fix that.
All right, so let me ask you this. The last change was basically eliminating the shift. I am not for that. I think batters should try to find a way to get against it. It wasn't, I mean, the shift is part of the game because baseball aficionados did not like what was happening to the game. They made a rule to make sure everyone stays in a little sandbox. That's the one that I have a problem with. The other ones I don't care about.
How hard is it to teach people how to bunt? I've been saying this for years. If they're going to shift you, bunt the ball where the infielders aren't. How is that so hard? If you just do that 2 or 3 times, they'll stop shifting you.
That's true. That's true. Well said. Well said. Look at this.
And I know, I guess it's not cool or hip to like bunt a ball and like get on first base, but a hit's a hit.
I agree. So is there only look at all these pictures? I mean, look at all these picks for favorites, I guess. Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling, great pitchers.
Interesting.
Ken Griffey Jr.
I've almost never, because I watch a lot of sports, but I almost never graduate to the superstars. It's always like the everyday players, but like they're not the superstars. Maybe they'll make an all-star game once, but otherwise they're like all right. Like growing up, my favorite player was David Eckstein.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Why? That's interesting.
I just loved how he would sit. Again, it was his batting style. His batting style where he would be in the box waiting for the umpire, and then he'd shake his back and forth, like just waiting for it. I love that.
Wow. Okay, so what would you do to fix the game? Anything on top of what I added? Those were my 3. It was the robotic umpires, but only behind home plate. That way the union can't get all upset. We're being replaced by robots. No, you get to still call bags, but you've lost your right. And we can point to the percentages of times that they get the call right and they get the call wrong and say this is well below the standard, or give them an ultimatum. Say, hey, if you don't reach at least 70, 80, I'd make it high, 80% correction on balls and strikes, you're out. I mean, your out is this. We're going to replace you.
So I'm going to preface this. I don't know how to fix this problem, but it is a problem that needs to be addressed. There are, in baseball, around 5 teams that have the money and actually care enough to put together good teams and compete. There are another 10 teams who are motivated to do that, but simply don't have the money to do that, but they still care enough to try within their budget to put together a decent team. And the other half of the league are run by owners who are too cheap to do anything about it. I don't know how to fix that problem, but it is an issue. There are, I would say, about half the teams in the league have ownership that just don't care, that don't actually want to spend the money and or put in the work to put in a good product, and just want to sit back and cash in the checks of all the revenue streaming.
It's hard with a limited amount of talent out there. It's hard for everyone to have an all-star team,
and I get that.
And someone's got to lose. So
I get that.
Judge it? Do you? Well, I was going to say, do you judge it based on attendance? But then you do what the Rays do and just give away free tickets.
Yeah.
When your team's in the playoffs.
But the Rays try. The Rays are that team that they don't have the money, but they at least try to put together a team.
Yeah. Where's the line? I agree with you. On this, but where is the line? Where is the line that they
see?
Set?
And I don't know. It's an issue that I think exists in baseball, but I don't know if there's a solution for it. But
I mean, I was a miserable Met fan when the Wilpons owned us. They throw money at the wrong things. They didn't care. They weren't focused. But I don't know. But then you do have teams that just sit on it. I think the Brewers try. And they do good things for their fans. I think Brewers ownership's nice, but they're a small town team. It's just kind of hard. It's hard. But I agree with you. I wouldn't know where to go on that. Thoughts on Tony Gwynn? He had a lifetime batting average of 300. What do you think? Unspoken hero.
Tony Gwynn.
Oh, whatever, Dylan.
Ah,
Dylan, you have a lifetime batting average of 300.
I know.
300. That's great. But
I think he's definitely a Hall of Famer, but I think he's a little bit overrated.
I don't think so, because I don't think that many people would consider him the best or consider him that good. I do, but I think he's kind of on the burner. You don't think when you think of great names, but he's like one of the forgotten greats. I was talking to someone.
I guess so.
Just the other day, like Steve Garvey, Dave Winfield. He kind of fits in that corner where it's like, man, these were good players back in the day, but no one remembers them. I've never been, but I'm sure it's nice. I've heard Cub Stadium's pretty nice too. I've heard you can't get tickets though, unless you get a scalper. Jeff Coney. Whoa. Never. Wow. I loved Scott because I love Gary Carter. His replacement was Mackie Sasser, and I was a Mackie Sasser fan for whatever reason, even though he sucked. But then Piazza jumped in, and there's someone else jumped in in between Mackie Sasser and Piazza. And then Piazza jumped in. I was like, yeah. And then I can't remember who. I used to remember who went behind the plate after. I used to keep up with the Mets catchers and say, oh, I should like every single one, but then realized they can't all be Hall of Famers. There you go. Eddie Murray, another great player no one talks about. I agree with you, Jamie. We need the Expos to come back. I take the – oh, Dylan, that was the other thing I talked about. I think the Guardians, I can't get it out of my head. I think it's a dumb name. If I was a Cleveland fan, I'd leave the team completely. I think the Guardian, it feels like a made-up name for a spoof movie.
I would agree with you if the AL East hadn't been complete trash ever since they lost in the World Series. Sorry, not the AL East, the AL Central. The AL Central has combined 5 playoff wins since Cleveland lost in the World Series. Not one playoff series won. Yeah. And you look at the division now. It's
good.
I think no offense to any American League Central fans out here, but you have been. I think it's undeniable. The last 5 years of baseball, they've been the worst division.
Love you too, Alex. Drive safely. Yeah, Guardians absolutely horrible. Yeah, but here's the thing. Change the. All right, so I'll talk about this. I think they should have fought for the Indians. Then get rid of Chief Wahoo. I get it. He looked cheesy anyway. He looked cartoonish, and I wouldn't, But don't get rid of Indian. Come on, like the Braves, they're going to fight for their name. They're not going to change. So I don't know. I ain't seeing anything wrong with it. But they're one of the oldest teams. They're an old baseball club.
Yeah, I think they were one of the original 8 American League teams.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, you don't change. You don't change because, oh, well, I don't see during the, the communist raids of the 60s or whatever, 50s, everyone was accused of being a commie. You didn't see the Red Sox changing their names because it had red in the title. Red means commie, so let's change it. No, it's tradition. I don't know. I just think, but then you ask, well, Matt, what name would you have chosen instead of the Indians? No, the Expos? I don't know. You'd have had to go for a different, an old name because everything else just sounds silly. Guardian sounds silly.
Yeah. I mean, because the teams, those old teams, their names changed a lot. So maybe Guardians was one of those older names that they had before they were the Indians.
Before they started Major League Baseball, maybe, but but then in today's age, you talk about Guardians of the Galaxy, I don't know. It's like the Toronto Raptors in the NBA. Bad timing. You came out the same time during Jurassic Park, and you wanted to name yourself after a dinosaur, which everyone thought was cool at first, but then eventually they said, oh, what's a raptor? This trick also works on my other girls too. All right. So anyway, little man, you need to hush. You can talk later. When you speak English, you can see he's upset about the Mets, Dylan. He's upset. Okay.
Okay.
Jamie, this is incredibly awesome that you've been to 27 stadiums. I have only been to 3, 4, no, 3, 4.
Now, is that
4.
is that 27 of the modern stadiums, or is that 27 stadiums total? Because my mom has this goal to go to every Major League Baseball stadium, right? But if they change the stadium, she has to go back. Like, for example, she's gone to old Yankee Stadium. She hasn't gone to new Yankee Stadium. So she needs to go back to New York at some point to go to the new Yankee Stadium, because that's just the thing. She counts them as two separate things, even though same team, same general area, but it is a different ballpark.
Right. He's getting hungry.
That would be another one.
Okay,
Best
so
stadium that's not around anymore.
Dylan, I sent you my I'm pissed off text this morning. It's done for the Mets. I just
Okay. I sent you that. Yeah, there's 3 wild cards now, and there's no way. But I'm thinking about it. The Mets currently have a 14.
I love how you got a smile on your face when you start talking.
The Mets currently have a 14-game lead on the first one out. So it's not. I'm not saying it will happen, but if the Mets drop 14 games, this will. I think it was like 2010, 2011. It was the last year of the one wild card, where I believe both the American and National League wild card leaders, with like 2 weeks in the season, lost it at like the very end. Like they had
that was a great day. One of the best last days of baseball of the season.
And they had each had 10+ game leads on like the other wild card, and both of them lost it.
I remember the Orioles had to beat the Yankees, and when they did, you thought the Orioles won the World Series.
Yeah.
Even though they were going to the playoffs.
And Orioles, I think, were in like a 10, 15-year playoff drought at that point as well, or maybe even longer.
Yeah, but they weren't going to the playoffs. They just took the Yankees out of the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And then the Rays that had a chance once they lost?
Yeah, I think it was the Rays over.
And it was.
I'll have to look this up.
It was, who was it? It was Gonzalez who hit that line drive home run. The last inning. Amazing how that happened. Oh, wow. I did not know that. That is incredible. Steve dealing with a sick kid and watching the stream. Good on you, sir. I know that's never fun. Hey, dude, you calm? I'm going to get him a bottle in a minute. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just disappointed because I want to win it. I wanted to win the division. I want an easier road. I don't know what's going on. I can't explain the Mets why we do this every year. Like once, I was right after the All-Star game. I texted Dylan. I said, okay, time to hold my breath for the next few months. And no. We can't win. We can't win for the life of us. Hey, why are you crying now? Why are you the boo-hooer? See, everyone in my household's upset that the Mets are losing, folks.
Yeah, it was the Cardinals leapfrogged the Braves, and
okay.
The Rays leapfrogged the Red Sox.
Oh, it was the Red Sox. Okay, never mind. I was wrong.
But the Rays had to beat the Yankees, and the Red Sox and the Baltimore beat the Red Sox.
Okay, so let me ask the chat this. Scott said you need a poster on your wall behind you.
Okay.
The blank wall behind you? They said you need something there. Okay, so let me know in the chat, what does Dylan need? What type of poster? What kind of poster should he get? Not that he's going to listen to anyone, but what should he get? Also, Dylan, They need to know while I'm making a bottle, do not fall off this couch. I'll look like a terrible father if you do. All right. Tell everyone who you think is going to the World Series. If you want to be bold and pick a winner, and then say why.
Okay.
Be right back. Getting milk.
So this is the key. This is the key to MLB postseason predictions. Okay, you need to look and ask yourself who was the best team in the league all season, right? And you need to pick not that team because for some reason, with very few exceptions, the best team never wins the World Series. Most of the time, they don't even make the World Series. They lose to something stupid in like the division series or NLCS, right? So you need to look at the standings, look at who absolutely dominated, and eliminate that one immediately. Now, the World Series, it's almost always someone that was kind of in that second tier of, yeah, they were pretty good. They weren't the best team, but they were all right. And that's on the one side. And the other side is someone you never even saw coming. So basically pick like the second or third best team in one league and like one of the wild card people in the other league, and you'll pretty much have like a 50-50 shot of correctly guessing the World Series. That's my thoughts. That's my thoughts on predictions.
I will tell everyone this. Dylan, before the season ended, I think we were getting close to the end, and everyone was wrapping up. I said, okay, Dylan, it looks like it's all shaping up. Who's going to the playoffs and everything? Who wins it all? And Dylan goes, the Braves.
Yep.
That's what Dylan said. So
here's my thought process. So my original thought process of pick the best team in baseball to not make it, because the best team in baseball in the regular season almost never wins it all, right?
That's true.
But look at the last 5 or 6 years. All the winners have been serial chokers. You have the Nationals, serial chokers. The Astros, serial chokers. The Dodgers, serial chokers. The Cubs, serial chokers. The one time in the last like 5 years that was broken up was by Boston. Right? So I was looking at the playoff teams and I thought, who's the biggest choker left? It's got to be the Braves. Atlanta chokes all the time in the playoffs. They'll surely win this time.
They did.
So that's my other pick. Look amongst all the playoff teams. Think to yourself, out of all these teams, who always chokes the most? Oh, that's right. This is my pick for the winner. You can lock this one in. It'll be the Twins. The Twins always choke. They always get swept out of the playoffs. They have, I think, like a 15 or 16 game streak of playoff losses. Watch them put it all together this year and actually win it all.
Right.
That's my dark horse pick.
There you go. So yes, that's one thing Star Trek has over Star Wars is baseball. Which, by the way, the Deep Space Nine episode has got to be one of the best episodes that doesn't star the Ferengi. It's great. Phillies beating the Astros, says someone. And there you go. That's the poster that we're going to get him. Tiffany Thyssen, I agree, from the 90s, a Kelly poster. All right. So.
Never mind. The Twins are 7.5 games out of a wild card spot. It won't be this year.
All right. I'm going to have to end it. I got him crying. I can't get him quiet. It's not working. Dylan has upset my child. We'll end it now, guys. We'll see y'all later. Little man.